Good morning and welcome to another Writer's Morning Commute. I'm in my rewatch of Breaking Bad. I've gotten well into season 3 now. And with my Death Note conversation out of the way, I thought I'd finally go ahead and comment on lessons I learned from watching season 2. There will be spoilers, so if you haven't watched the series yet, go do that. It's great. So season 2, one thing I was surprised by was how quickly, when you're watching the episodes one a day, one after the other, how quickly Jane was introduced and then killed off. I don't know, it just felt longer the first time I watched it, I guess. I'm not sure how long it took us to get through season 2 the first time. We did watch it on Netflix, but it's been a few years at this point. But she was one of the characters who I remember really well. So I was surprised when she died, when she got killed off in less than a season. She got introduced around maybe a third of the way into the season, and then died in the last episode. So, what made her into a powerful character who I remembered? She was unique. There wasn't really any other kind of goth, I guess, character. A lot of the characters in the show are very adult and upper middle class America, I guess. Lots of polo and khaki wearing guys and fancy dress or expensive blouse wearing women. So Jane definitely stood out visually. She also stood out in her personality. She's the first person who we see who really is trying to improve themselves. Like, Walt is trying to stop himself from sliding down into this pit of evil. Jesse's kind of had a little bit of attempts at improving himself, but nothing really substantial. But when we're first introduced to her, pretty quickly we learn that she's going through some sort of sobriety program. So just seeing that, I think, also made her very interesting, very intriguing. We're also in that season introduced to Saul Goodman, Better Call Saul. Seeing him compared to Better Call Saul, what's been released on Netflix so far, has been interesting. Because so much of the stuff he says on Breaking Bad, like before, it sounded kind of ridiculous but possible, whereas once you know his backstory, you're just like, he's just flat out lying all the time. It just makes it even better. Like, I love it. Oh. The other thing I wanted to hit on before we wrap this up is theme. Especially in I believe it's the last episode of season 2, where it ends with Jane dying. So she dies from an overdose and, vomits and drowns in her own vomit. At the beginning of the episode, I don't know if it necessarily opens with this, but very early in the episode, we see Walt teaching Marie how to put baby Holly down to put her a nap. And he rolls her onto her side and says, in case she throws up. So that's one time we see someone rolling someone onto their side. Then there's a second time we see someone rolling someone else onto their side when Jane rolls Jesse onto his side the first time he tries these harder drugs. And she says, sleep on your side, baby. Specifically saying baby was notable to me there. And then the third time, of course, someone gets rolled onto their side is actually a little bit of an inverse. It's getting rolled onto her back when Walt accidentally knocks Jane from her side onto her back. And you also have, so that was a recurring motif, but there's this theme of parenthood, of Walt and his daughter, of Jane's dad and Jane, of how Jane is viewing Jesse as a baby and his new use of these drugs. There's just a very strong running motif of that. And I think looking for those themes in your work, like if you can start out with one, that's great, but even better is to go back once you're done, because sometimes you'll be surprised by what themes have actually come out of the work. I know I've gone into a work with one theme in mind and then had to rejigger it for the final version. But go back and see what themes are actually present and see how you can bring those out more. See how you can either develop subplots or bring out certain points of characterization that might not have gotten as much limelight in the side characters, to see how much of the story you can really tie to that. That really, in my opinion, makes a much stronger story. So that's where I'm going to end today. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day.